round 4, and another boy, 14 or 15 years old, rated 23-22. I played white, so once again knight f3, c5, g3, knight c6, bishop g2, g6. Castles, bishop g7, c4, e5, knight c3, knight e7, d3 castles. I don't really like this setup with white. I prefer, in such a structure, I prefer when the pawn is placed on e3 and this knight is placed on e2 instead of f3. So I played knight e1, d6, knight c2, bishop e6, knight e3, maneuvering this knight to d5, queen d7, knight d5, bishop h3, rook b1, since it's a typical story about the b4 break, bishop g2, king takes, g2, knight d5, knight takes, f5, b4, b6, bishop d2, knight e7, knight takes, queen takes. And like it was already somewhere here, let's say, once I saw this position, no, maybe somewhere here, yeah, I was already unhappy about this opening, since here after knight e7, queen takes e7, there is not much to play, unfortunately for me. Okay, I played a4. He did a good move e4, counter-attacking in the center, since otherwise my plan is more or less simple, just playing on the queen side with a5, then maybe queen to a4. Also queen to a4 is not really necessary, it's enough to play a5 followed by b takes c5, and the problem for black will be in case of d takes c5, he loses the b6 pawn, while after a5, b takes c5, in case of b takes c5, then I can use the open b file and maybe a6, then rook b7, so e4, and here, yes, I should care about this situation. So I play queen c2, rook a e8, a nice move, an easy one, just developing the last piece, rook e8. And here I didn't like this position. I couldn't understand what I should play, since always e takes d3 or also queen b7 at some point. It's quite annoying, so I just played e3. But after e takes d3, queen d3, queen e4, queen e4, rook takes e4, this endgame, like really there is not much here. Rook c1 would be a bad move probably, since c takes b4 followed by rook c8. That's why b takes c5 first. Of course d takes c5, rook c1 protecting the c4 pawn, rook d8, then rook c2 protecting the bishop, rook d3. Black plays actively. His idea is rook a3 at some point, so that's why of course I go for a5. That's my plan, rook e6, king f3, rook a3. And here I really don't like the move which I played. I should have played something like h3, g4 immediately, maybe even g4 immediately, creating something, since actually black has pawn majority on the queen side and I have the pawn majority on the king side, so like I should play on the king side. Even so, yeah, I did some activity on the queen side, since the b6 pawn is kind of weak, but now it's easy for black to protect the pawn. And I played stupidly king e2, but after king f7 I didn't find anything better. Okay, I played h3, but after king e7 I didn't find anything better than just getting back to f3, since the problem that after g4 there is f4. So it's a good question, why didn't I play g4 here? Unfortunately there is no answer to this question. Or maybe g4 or at least h3 followed by g4. So I play king f3. Here he did a nice move, bishop e5, The problem that it's once again about the f4 move, but still I decided to go for g4. In case of f4, I had something on my mind. Maybe it was bishop c1, and after rook d3, maybe king e2. Also, even here it's nothing for me. But he played king d7. The problem that in case of g takes f5, g takes f5, and rook g1, he can easily cover the g file by playing rook g6. So that's why I took on b6 and started with rook g1. Of course, now he played f4, bishop c1, rook b3, rook d1, king c6, king e2. And the funny thing, I feel, I think like myself not that well about this game, since I would understand like if starting from here, starting from somewhere here, let's say from king e2 move, if it was like I played black and the opponent played white, but no, it was a grandmaster playing white and 23-22 playing black. But slowly I got into a worse position, and here after bishop d4, rook d3, somehow I completely underestimate rook b1 idea, and after king f3, takes. White is in a dangerous situation. Also here I felt like it should be okay. He played b5, c takes b5, king b5, rook a2. It's important to improve my rook, placing it behind the pawn, so not like here, placing it behind the pawn. And also, of course, I don't mind attacking the h7 pawn. Rook f1, a nice check. The point that in case of king g3 or king g2, he simply plays rook f7, and I think this position is already just completely lost for white, since the king is cut it off by the f file, and it's easy for him to push his pawns, and maybe even at some point, maybe a bit later, placing the rook behind the pawn. So that's why I went for the activity king e4. The point that in case of rook h1, I have king d5, and after rook takes h3, rook b2 with an easy draw. Let's say king a6, king takes c5, rook e3, and then, for example, rook h2, and bringing my king closer to his pawns. So that's why he went for rook f7, king d5. Activity is something quite important, and we will see it in this game, in the end of this game. King e6, rook d3, e4, rook takes h3, e5. And you see, actually my pieces are quite active here, and my king and my pawn is like my pawn goes forward. Rook g3, rook e2, a nice move, placing the rook behind the pawn. Rook g4, king f7, and actually here the boy was lucky. I don't know, he at some point, like here, I don't like what he did, grabbing all these, like the h3 pawn, the g4 pawn, and he was just in time to survive. Like some way, instead of moving forward his pawn, he wanted to grab most of my pawns. So rook a4, e6, rook a8, e7, c4. There is nothing better for me. I could have tried something like rook b2 or even rook a2, but his rook has enough squares on the back rank. So e8, rook takes e8, c3, rook c8, king b4, king e6, and black is just exactly in time to survive. So after king b2, it would be rook b8 with a perpetual check. So king k2, rook c8. Of course, king c1 is not an option at all. Then king c3, and white is winning. So you see, like somewhere here he was. Somewhere here, yes, here he was clearly better. But then something like went wrong for him, and he was just one step from losing this game. Still, this draw, nothing good for me. I spoiled another white, one more white color. Okay, that happens. Yeah, so in such situation, like, you never know what's going on. Like, either it's me playing badly or my opponents play well. The funny thing that it's easier to beat, like, at least I played a tournament just like 1 or 2 weeks ago, and it was easier to beat 2,500 guys than beating these young boys. So, like, of course, there I had motivation and so on. In this tournament, I almost don't prepare. I give lessons and like, have not enough energy, not enough recover especially from this day with double rounds. But still, yes, that, like, they have to make mistakes, they have to do something wrong, but they don't want, and this is, of course, upset. Yes, the problem that actually, like, really, I play this tournament only about, like, seeing a good price font here, and otherwise I wouldn't participate. And like, there is no really, like, interest in being here playing this tournament, especially with these double rounds. So it's like, maybe like, just sometimes you should just say no and to skip a tournament, and it's better. But I decided, like, okay, I'm more or less in good shape, and so let's go. But okay, maybe then I should prepare, and, like, especially it's funny that I won 2 games with black and 2 draw with white. Also, yeah, probably with, also no, like, okay, yeah, maybe with white I had stronger opponents, but still, yeah, still it's like, okay. So, okay, 5 rounds to go, like, most of my lessons almost over. So, like, now it's finally time to run, while still there are chances to get somewhere.